Hi everybody! So I'm going to show you how to make these little EOS lip balm baskets. I think they would be a great idea for any occasion. Just say Valentine's is coming up. You could use the darker shade lip balm, use red and pink bands around, or for Easter. I love this lip balm. So all you're going to do is just move the strap to the side. You can just twist the lid off and use the lip balm. And then just put it back. I'm using the colors from the Rainbow Loom Pastel Assorted pack, which will turn out like this one. And these are the colors, and I'm going to use it in this order. In total, you're going to use 144 bands. So I'm going to get started, and I do hope you enjoy. For the basket, I'm going to be using this pattern of colors, which is from the Rainbow Loom Pastel package. I'm going to start off with the pink, and I'm going to do 5 single crochets in the magic ring. So I'm going to take my first band and wrap it around the bottom peg 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to bring 5 bands through, one at a time. Top loop over, bring it to the side, back in, grab your band, bring it through, end on your hook and top 2 loops over. Back in, top 2 loops over, top 2 loops over. Now attach your stitch marker to this band that's around your hook and remove off the loom. Move your bands around and you should have 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is on your hook. For round 2, I'm going to change color, so I'm going to start off with a slip stitch, and I'm going with my second color in my pattern here. I'm going to go in my first chain, and all we're doing is doing 2 single crochets in each chain around, so adding 2 bands, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. So at the end of round 2, you're going to have 10 stitches. So my first chain, I'm going to add 2 bands one at a time. My first band, because I am changing color, I'm going to go through all of the stitches, grab the end, and slide. Now going back in that same stitch, so if you aren't changing color, you don't have to do a slip stitch, just do a single crochet. Go back in that same stitch and add your second band, the next chain, 2 bands, one at a time. Back in. And just repeat until you get to the stitch marker. So you should have 10 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. Now for round 3, I'm going to use my yellow, and I'm going to do a single crochet. I'm missing a band here. I'm going to do a single crochet followed by an increase. So 1, 2, 1, 2. You're going to repeat this pattern 5 times, and at the end of round 3, you're going to have 15 stitches. So I am changing color, so I'm going to start off with a slip stitch. Don't go in your little slip knot. You want to go in your first chain. Bring your band through all of the loops if you are changing color. Now going to the second chain, you're adding 2 bands, one at a time. Back in. And repeat 1, 2. You're just going to follow the layout until you get to the stitch marker. You should have 15 stitches. Remove your stitch marker. If you are using the C-clips, be very careful not to pull. For round 4, I'm changing to my next color, and I'm going to do 4 single crochets followed by an increase. 4 single crochets followed by an increase. So on every 5th chain, you're adding 2 bands. At the end of round 4, you're going to have 18 stitches. Starting off with the slip stitch, not going in your first little slip knot here, you want to go in the chain and bring your band through all of the loops if you are changing color. Then in the next 3 chains, you're adding 1 band in each. So I just did 4 single crochets. In my 5th chain, I'm adding the 2 bands, one at a time. And I'm going to repeat 4 single crochets followed by an increase. Fifth chain with 2 bands. Back in. And you're going to repeat one more time until you get to the stitch marker. You should have 18 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. Now for rounds 5, 6, 7, and 8, you're just doing 18 single crochets. So each pile I have 18 bands, and I'm just continuing with my pattern. So I went from the purple, and I'm going to start back at the pink. Each round I'm going to start off with a slip stitch just because I'm changing the color. So I'm going to do round 5 with you, and then you're going to pause the video and come back to me when you're done. The last band, you're going to do a slip knot to tie it closed. So I'm going to go in my chains, each one, and just add 1 band and just do a single crochet until I get to the stitch marker. At the end of each round, you should have 18 stitches. Try really hard not to pull, because then it won't fit around the lip balm. Just crochet normally and you'll be just fine. Now, I do like at the end of round 8, if you were to do a complete round, so using an extra band and then do a slip knot, so use an extra band and then go into the next chain, it's completely up to you. It just gives it a cleaner finish when you're done. But again, you don't need to, it just kind of gives it a cleaner finish. So you can remove your stitch marker and start off with round 6, not in the slip knot, go in your chain, and if you are changing color, bring it through all the loops and then continue going around. So you can pause the video and come back to me when you're done. So I just chose to come back to do the last band with you as a slip knot, or you can add that extra band to have a complete round. So if you want to, you can add your slip knot here and just tie it off, or you can have the complete round. So I'm just going to take this off and use an extra band. So I'm going to go in and just do a single crochet in my last stitch and then go to the stitch over to do my slip knot. This way you just have the complete circle with the one color if you are doing the 2, and you can remove your stitch marker. And because I did slip knots, I just have this little bump here. You're just going to take your little knots on your stitches on either side and just give them a tug. And that will close up that little gap right there. Now we're going to do the chain at the top. You can do a single chain, pick whatever colors you want. What I'm going to do is a chain of 10, starting at the basket and ending at the basket. And then I'm going to do a reverse stitch the other way with my second color. So you'll need 10 bands. You don't have to attach it to the basket. You can attach one side to the basket and have like a little button here and then just kind of put your chain right around the button so you kind of lift it. But I'm going to show you this way because you can, if you're going to use the EOS, you're going to just kind of go around and then you can just kind of open it up. So this is how I'm going to show you. And then I'm going to add a little bow at the front here. So I'm going to start at one end and I'm going to start on one of the chains right beside my slip knot. And I'm going to do a chain, so I'm going through that chain on the basket, and I'm going to do a chain of 9. In my 10th band, I'm going to catch the other side. So this is how it is. And this is how I ended. I want to catch this side on the actual basket. So what I'm going to do is just remove my hook and I'm going to go the other way. So I'm just kind of like even, and I'm going to catch straight across. You might want to fold this in half and find the stitch directly across. And you're going to attach it and slide. Don't pull too hard. And now we're just going to reverse. So you want to make sure that this is nice and straight, your chain. And I'm going to go inside the chains. So what I'm going to do is going to the kind of to the side here, because if I don't want to go directly in, because then I don't have that chain on my hook. So I want the chain on my hook. And I'm going to bring my band through both of those loops and slide. I'm going to go to the side of the chain so you can see when I put my hook through the chain, I have the actual loop of that band on my hook. And you're just going straight to the end. In your last band, you're going to catch the basket and do a slip knot to tie it closed. So now I'm just going to end here on the side of the basket, grabbing that chain right beside the pink, and I'm going to bring my band through and do a slip knot. Now you're going to hide these slip knots. So I'm going to hide this yellow one, and I'm going to bring it through the little slip knots, or sorry, the little tiny knots that you see. I'm going to put my hook through. I'm going to bring this band through. I'm going to find one more, bring it through, and the same thing with the purple. And just one more. Now I'm just going to make a bow and show you how to attach. And the only reason why I'm showing you, because most of you know how to make the bow, just use the bottom 2 pegs, 2 bands. I just found that if I didn't put the bow on the right way, the bow was just going towards the top. So I'm going to just show you so you don't get a little frustrated if it happens to you. So just go underneath, grab your band, bring it through, I usually do these by hand. Give it a slight tug. Hold on to that middle part. Remove it carefully off the loom. Don't yank it because then your bands get all twisted. Don't lose your end here. So I'm just going to fix up my bands flat and then I'm going to give it a tug. Now when you're attaching this, which I'm going to attach to the center front, give it a tug. I'm going to attach to the center front, so I'm just going to fold this in half and find my center band, so it's this yellow one, and I'm just going to put my hook through. When you're bringing this through, you want to make sure that the bow, if you're looking at it, this little band here in the front, you want that facing your basket. So you want it like this. So that straight piece is on, like you can see, I have it backwards here. This is how I'm going to bring it through. So I'm going to bring my band through, because if you go the other way, it faces towards the top. It doesn't sit nice and flat. Bring your end over the bow. You might want to twist again and do that again. I'll use my fingers. And bring it over. So twist that band and then just bring it over. And then you can get the lip balm and put it inside. My hands are so shaky, I don't know why. And it's done. So I hope you enjoyed Looming with Cheryl. Please subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time with another. Bye for now.